So the president wants to send troops to engage with citizens in some of our cities. So I thought I would ask him, why is he using the National Guard? Mr. President, why are you using the National Guard for your silly photo op? Why them?
That they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
There it is, ladies and gents. He's using the National Guard because he thinks they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But seriously, guys, I was in New York for a week as the escalations of National Guards in various states were deployed to D.C. and no one can really figure out why. Well, I figured out why. I went to D.C. and I met a four-man team from South Carolina, and I know all of us from the active duty forces like to say that the National Guard does not know what the fuck they're doing. The truth is, the National Guard is made up of two groups. There's a dog staring at me over there. Nice doggy. Okay. Two groups. One are the folks who just enlisted, went to basic training, AIT, and they serve 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in the summer to maintain the training in whatever the job specialty is. And so the active duty force tends to look down on them because they're not committing full time. But there's another part of the National Guard, and that's the people who have served on active duty, and they are, well, both National Guard permanently and National Guard that are downsizing from the active duty force. They're all very well trained in their occupation specialty, in their MOS, the military occupational specialty. They are not trained for this. Well, what is this? Actually, let me retract. They are trained for this. They are trained to be seen. That's not their primary function, but what they're doing in DC is they're just being seen. And before you mock the guys who just enlisted for the 1 week in the month and 2 weeks in the summer, remember that about 1% or less of our population actually put on a military uniform. But hold up. Before you mock the other 99% who hasn't, remember, there's a large segment of our population who serve as teachers, judges, volunteers for charities like the Red Cross, United Way, Salvation Army. There's a lot of ways to serve without putting on a military uniform. So we like to rib the National Guard and the reserves from the active duty force. And we might also like to knock on the RIMPs, who we call the civilians, the 99%. But the truth is, a lot of people serve in a lot of ways. So forgive me if this video I appear to mock the National Guard or a certain staff sergeant who I call specialist. But in this case, in DC, they don't know how you doing? The F they're doing. Little baby didn't want to hear the real word. All right, let's get down to it. It's 5:17 on the 26th of August. I'm back in my normal area. I'm on the Metro train. I'm going to DC, see if I can find some folks violating the Constitution. Cheerio.
Doors opening on the left.
Oh, it's what time is it? 5:48 a.m. I'm at the Chinatown Metro stop. One of the places I heard National Guard were at, but at 5:48 a.m. they're not here. Maybe I'll take a walk over to GAO. I used to work at GAO. It's about 3-4 blocks that way. Maybe they're doing PT. I don't know. Morning, specialist.
How you doing?
Good, and self? I'm at the Metro stop for Navy Archives, Navy Memorial Archives. 4 National Guardsmen, 2 buck sergeants, staff sergeant, and a specialist. Surrounding an area that has... they're just here for show. Staff sergeant and I made eye contact. I said, "Good morning, specialist." He didn't seem to object. He knows he's not an NCO. If he allows this to happen, he's not an NCO. He's a specialist C6. Now that I found them, one small unit here at National Archives, Navy Memorial, Penn Quarter, I decided to hang out and see what they're actually doing. They're not armed. They have zip ties for handcuffs. But what are they actually doing? Are they detaining anyone? Are they directing anyone? Or are they just smiling and say good morning? Again, we're at the Navy Memorial, which is over there, and National Archives, which is over there. We're a block from the FBI building and the DOJ building, and we have 4 National Guardsmen just standing around up here with absolutely no authority in a place where there's absolutely no crime. I just came from Chinatown, which tends to have some crime and no presence there. I stand corrected. It's not a couple blocks. That building right there is Department of Justice, and behind this building with the columns is the FBI National Headquarters. They are not armed, but they are body armored, and they do have zip ties. Really no functional purpose for them here. That looks like logistics package in a civilian van. The staff sergeant and the specialist just went over there and it looks like they got water. Okay. Oh, they got meals too, okay. More meals, and they're taking them inside the metro system. Where, by the way, if there's no eating, drinking, smoking, radios, are they going to eat down there? Right now I'm with you, specialist.
I'm not a specialist.
Specialist C6, yeah.
No, that's not correct.
Why?
Just want to know.
Just want to know who I'm with? Yeah, just you.
Oh, okay. You're not with the media group or anything?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Did you have a good breakfast? It's on my body cam, so I won't be able to render it till I'm home. But Specialist E6 painter and one of the actual specialists got chow, and they went inside one of the Metro offices, and they ate. And then I went down there to see if they were eating in public or whatever. And then Specialist painter, technically he's a staff sergeant. I'm going to call him specialist. No NCOs would allow this to happen. He approached me and asked me who I'm with. I said, right now I'm with you, specialist. His name is Staff Sergeant. Staff Sergeant Specialist Painter. And it's himself, 2 actual specialists, and a buck sergeant. The Staff Sergeant and the specialist went to eat first, which is kind of, I mean, I know they're at the Navy Memorial, so maybe they're trying to do the Navy tradition of higher rank eats first. But this looks like an Army National Guard component where a leader lets his troops eat first. That's why I say specialist painter. Do you have a PAO, Public Affairs officer?
Of course. You want the number?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I was waiting for you to ask. Uh-oh. He's got the number.
Oh, okay. What state are you guys from?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. What's your mission here?
Make Washington beautiful and safe.
Make Washington beautiful.
And safe.
Okay. I got to admit, that really chapped my ass. A staff sergeant. If he was an infantry active duty, a squad leader. Sometimes in times of minimum staffing, a platoon sergeant. This man is in charge of troops. The best way he can articulate his mission is to make Washington beautiful and safe. I kind of made fun of this in the short I did to plug this video, but I get it. If you can't really talk about your mission, refer me to the public affairs office that I am asking you for. But to articulate in the way of Donald Trump, I'm sorry, Staff Sergeant, I'm sorry, Specialist 6, you're in the wrong profession.
You got the number?
Ready for it?
Sure.
202
202
880
880
4267.
4267. Thank you. All right. South Carolina. And your governor sent you here to make Washington beautiful and safe? Are you picking up trash or arresting criminals or?
That's all the information we can give you. That's why we got that number, so you can ask them everything we do.
Maybe I'm being too harsh on him. Maybe his actual orders are, if asked, what is your mission? Quote, make Washington beautiful and safe. End quote. Maybe that's his instructions. Yeah. As I pointed out, this is literally next door to the Department of Justice and the FBI in an area where there's absolutely no crime ever. Make it beautiful and safe. Okay. How safe? That's the Department of Justice building, and across the street is the FBI headquarters. Are you guys making a difference here, or should you maybe be at Mount Vernon Square? I know, PAO office.
Yep.
All right, thank you guys.
Have a good one.
Good information, sir. Senior Master Sergeant Melton. How may I help you?
Oh yes, I noticed some South Carolina National Guard troops at one of the metro stations,
Okay.
and I was wondering, what is their mission there?
So you notice South Carolina Guard members at the metro stop? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Which metro stop?
the Navy Archives, the Navy Memorial Archives Station, right next to the Department of Justice and FBI.
What was your name, sir?
David Finkel?
Okay. Are you with a news organization?
No, I'm just a curious member of the public. What role are they playing? They can't talk about the rules of engagement or their mission.
This line would be for media. It's media line, but I can tell you that they are assisting. Email. Okay. So let me give you an email address.
Okay.
That you can send your question to and your query to, and we'll respond to that. It is. Give me 1 second. JTF Joker Tango Foxtrot dash DC Media Desk at Army.mil.
Army.mil. Okay, well, thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm ready.
Okay, he doesn't realize that the public is media. This desk is only for media requests only. Shut the fuck up. Okay, so the Specialist Staff Sergeant, Specialist E6, thinks his mission is to make DC beautiful and safe again. And he's guarding one of the safest spots in DC. I'd say the White House is probably safer. But yeah, one block radius around the Department of Justice, and on the other side of this building, the FBI headquarters. Not too many places safer than this. But okay, let's see what other trouble we can get into today. Let's see what other trouble we can get into today. And as usual, when I go to DC, I did a lot of walking. Didn't park this time. This time I took the metro in, so I didn't have to worry about where I parked. I did get into a First Amendment audit situation up there just north of Chinatown. But this video is about the National Guard in DC. As you can see, I'm leaving about 7:40 in the morning. I go back to the Chinatown metro station, and then I eventually, after lunch, I came back here to see the same crew still on, and we'll get into that shortly. Cam, or maybe the glasses, Cam. I'm not sure. So I asked the staff sergeant, Specialist C6, what his mission was. He says to make DC beautiful and safe again. I don't want to be redundant, but yeah, he's right next to the FBI and the DOJ, at a place where crime never happens. But they pick up trash and make it beautiful. But he didn't have it, but one of his soldiers did. The PAO office, who didn't want to answer my questions on the phone. He sent me an email address to, you can't make this shit up. My assessment here is the National Guard in Washington, D.C. has no real purpose other than to be seen. To be seen. Partly to get a reaction, and partly maybe just seeing them as a deterrent. But they have no real role. Some people shook their hands, some people screamed at them. They're powerless. They can't do anything except for protect themselves. They're not armed. They have zip ties to handcuff people with. I can't see them using that when they're standing around one of the most touristy metro stops. All right, where am I? I'm gonna head back up to Chinatown, see if there's any more up there yet. I was there before dark, and there was none at Chinatown. When I was in New York, I got word that Chinatown was one of the stations that they were at, which makes sense. There's crime up there in hours of darkness. Now, before dark, I was there, not a National Guardsman in sight. Now that it's daylight, and crime goes down at daylight at Chinatown, I'm going to head back and see if now they're there. they're useless. I guess the staff sergeant doesn't have an actual full-time job. He's probably very happy to be full-time engaged and get a free tour of our nation's capital. Otherwise, he'd be pissed off that he's getting paid a low staff sergeant pay while he's away from his real job in South Carolina. And unless he's partially employed or unemployed, this is a waste of his time. This is a waste of your tax money. I don't know what he does for a living, but he should be doing that. It's Tuesday. He should be getting up somewhere in South Carolina right now, getting ready to go to whatever job he has there, if he has one. He shouldn't be here in the nation's capital just walking around for the tourists to see. The only people going to see him at that metro stop are tourists and employees of the immediate area, a lot of which are FBI and DOJ. Thank you for making the DOJ safe. Fuck, man. All right, to follow up with that email, these National Guardsmen from South Carolina, Mississippi, West Virginia, Washington, D.C. itself, and did I say Louisiana? They are Title 32. They're not Title 10. If they are Title 10, they would actually be federalized. The President, through Secretary of Defense, is at the top of their chain of command. These guys' chain of command still is the governor of the respective states. Oh, Title 32. Okay. Let's talk about their actual mission. In the military, whenever you deploy or prepare for any kind of mission, you are giving a 5-paragraph OPORD. I shouldn't say paragraph, I should say section. Oh shit, I have to Google it. It's been so long. Basically, paragraphs are situation, mission, command and control. I'm out of order. I don't know. Google the 5 paragraphs of an operations order, or an OPORD. That's OPORD. The South Carolina National Guard is deployed to Washington, D.C. under an OP order that the troops, the enlisted troops, have never received. I repeat, they have not been giving their operations order. What the actual fuck, Gus? Governor Henry McMaster issued a statement on August 16th. I'm recording this on the 27th. I was in D.C. on the 26th. On August 16th, announcing that he's deploying 200 South Carolina National Guards member to Washington, D.C. under Title 32 authority. That means under his authority. These guys don't answer to the President of the United States. However, he's going to let them follow directions from the the federal law enforcement. So that's kind of a convoluted chain of command. Anytime I was in the Army National Guard, anytime I was in basic training, AIT, anytime I was in A school for the Navy, anytime I was in the Navy, anytime I was any branch anywhere, it was very clear to me what my chain of command was to my immediate supervisor, all the way up when I was in the federal force, President of the United States, and when I was in the National Guard, the Governor of New York State. Now, I will admit, the one, the only active duty Army unit I was ever in that they did not give us OPORDs, in fact, we got our OP order from the Marine Corps, was when I was at Fort Polk, Louisiana, the 5th Infantry Division MEC. We were in 1st Battalion, 61st Infantry, and we deployed to Panama under something called Nimrod Dancer. We got no rules of engagement, just like these guys got no rules of engagement. We got no 5-paragraph op order, just like these guys have not received a 5-paragraph op order. The first time we heard the operations order for Panama was when we did a temporary rotation guarding the ASP, which was under Marine direction, and the Marines gave us our first op order. Everywhere I've been since then, we got our op orders as we were supposed to. Now, the operations order, these guys have never received their order, their mission. The specialist didn't know his mission, but I can't really blame him. He was never given him his mission. This is their task in Washington, D.C. Traffic control. That's not arresting people, citing people for speeding tickets. That's directing traffic. It doesn't specify if it's pedestrian traffic, metro rail traffic, or vehicular traffic, but basically they can say, go this way. They can say, this is the way to the White House, or this is the way out of D.C., or whatever. Traffic control, all right? And presence controls. Presence patrols. Literally, the mission of a presence patrol is, as I've been saying all along, to be seen by the public. If you were overseas, you would do a presence patrol so that the local population could see you and know that you are there. The D.C. presence patrols of the Army National Guard from D.C., from West Virginia, from South Carolina, from Mississippi, and from Louisiana are all there for the purpose for the public, that's you and me, American citizens, to see them. Good job, we fucking see them. And logistical support. Well, I did see them deliver a log pack, breakfast, I believe it was. I guess they can, logistics. That's supplies. Beans, well, I don't know so much bullets here. These guys didn't even have weapons. Logistical support is supplies. So maybe they can provide supply runs, log packs to, I don't know, maybe the federal ICE folks and the DHS folks and the FBI folks. I don't know why they would need that, because they already have a perfectly feasible logistics program going on. The only logistics support added is these little white civilian vans bringing them their chow, which they don't really need, because apparently, we'll get into a little bit later, they can spend an hour and a half at Starbucks near the metro station that they're supposed to be doing their presence patrol. Google presence patrol, please do, and logistical support. That's why they're there. While I was there, both in the morning and later on in the afternoon, they did not pick up any trash. So they're not there to make Washington beautiful again. They didn't paint anything. They didn't polish anything. They didn't even correct anyone who flicked their cigarette butt on the ground or dropped their gum wrapper on the ground. In fact, I think I remember someone leaving a grocery cart there. Yeah, okay, make Washington beautiful again. Okay, and safe. They didn't install any handrails. They really didn't do anything for anyone's safety. Let's go back and see how they lunch. But I see the background video is I'm reapproaching the Chinatown. Can't talk. The Chinatown Metro stop. This is right next to the arena. While I'm editing this, I took a peek at the previous short, and I saw a comment. I want to address the comment, and then we'll get back to the National Guard unit at Navy Memorial. I'll be honest, I'm hoping to get more comments and more views. So far, 176 views. Not bad, not great, but I want people to see that and therefore know that this is coming and see this. First two comments are from Generally Specific. I think I answered them. No, I didn't use a voice changer. I sped it up so I could fit it inside a 3-minute short. The shorts get more attention, but they have to be under 3 minutes. But there's another fellow down here at the... Oh, by the way, check out Generally Specific in the evenings or in the daytime, Subpar Gaming. He's got a lot of commentary you may be interested in. But check out this one on the bottom. Can't remember where, when, how. I'm familiar with the name Richard Fulmer, I think in comments or maybe in chats. I appreciate the reminder to be safe, sir. Except I'm not a sir, I work for a living, but that's okay. I know you mean well here. But he says something that it just got my attention. A real auditor would have told the man on the phone, the First Amendment says freedom of press, all citizens are press. I agree. Also, at least he didn't make Washington beautiful and safe again. Okay. On the, yes, all citizens who want to observe and report are press, and that's why we have a First Amendment that states the freedom of the press shall not be, abridged? Shame on me, I'd have to look it up. But a real auditor. There is no such thing as a real First Amendment auditor. The First Amendment was audited when written, and people had to decide whether or not it would be included in the Bill of Rights of the Constitution. Since then, it's not been audited. It's been, it's been audited, but a real auditor, there is no real First Amendment auditor because, well, it's not really a job, ma'am. We test people's willingness to let us exercise our First Amendment, and I guess you could call that an audit. But what are the rules of First Amendment auditing? For me, when I call someone or engage someone, me going to them, me being the active participants, unlike Brick Jones, I don't yell and scream and correct and argue and debate. I simply get what I want, and what I don't get, I comment on later. You get auditors like Brick Jones who will yell and scream and correct and tell them how they're wrong. Not necessary. You're not going to change anything to the specialist E4 who's been ordered to answer these phones. He doesn't give two craps about how much I yell and scream and holler. Yeah, so let's get back to the National Guardsmen at Navy Yard. Not Navy Yard, Navy Memorial. Completely different neighborhood, Navy Yard there.
Good morning, everyone. We're coming, we're coming.
Yes, sir.
That's cool. Just are you press or you just wear it? Just
I'm documenting how these National Guardsmen don't have a mission here. They're just here to be seen.
okay.
Alright, I think I get it. They're from South Carolina. So white soldiers get to go over to Starbucks for over an hour. I just came back and see. It's so they were there from 10:30 to 11:30. They just went back in and downstairs. So if you're from a National Guard unit from South Carolina, non-combat arms, if you're white, you get to hang out at Starbucks for over an hour and then get out of the sun. If you're not white, you have to stand out here and chase the shade of the trees as the shade moves around. Okay. Alright, the rest of the video is just B-roll of me riding home on the metro train. Cheerio. Enjoy or not. It's up to you. Your call.
Gentlemen train to Livingston, next stop, the Montana.
Alright. So, still haven't seen any armed National Guard in DC. I've heard that there are some armed, but not that I've seen so far. These jets from South Carolina have the kind of zip ties you use to handcuff people with. Although I don't know what they're there to enforce. Apparently nothing. The staff specialist, Special C6, he said he was there to make DC beautiful again. Several people littered right in front of him, put the cigarette butts out on the ground, threw gum wrappers down. Didn't faze him. So I don't know what he's doing to keep DC beautiful and safe. No, they're only in places where there's no crime. The Specialist E4 and the Specialist E6 went over to Starbucks for about an hour. while the other two, the Special C5 and the other Special C4, the one that had the phone number to PAO, they were standing outside in the heat all the whole time. The E6 and E4, after they went to Starbucks, they got the ice cold coffee drinks. They took them down here into the metro system, where you're not supposed to have any food, beverages, anything like that. But I guess they get special dispensation. Can't talk right now. I'm going to guess they're less effective, and this says a lot. They're less effective than Allied Universal. The dudes in uniforms to be seen. Maybe if they see something, they can report on it. They don't seem to have any kind of authority. They don't know what their mission is. They don't know what the rules of engagement are. They're just here, smiling at the ladies, letting people take their pictures. No weapons. Oh, and in their canteen pouches they had, I think, Gatorade bottles. Some kind of a store-bought beverage with an orange top. Not the standard issue canteen. It's the Potomac River. Off there in distance is the Air Force Memorial. Closer is the Pentagon. With those tall things going up into the air, that's the Air Force Memorial. Behind the Air Force Memorial is the Sheraton, which had one of the cameras focused on the Pentagon at the time at 9/11 when a plane hit. We've never been allowed to see that footage. We saw the one from the gas station. Over there is Arlington's Washington Monument. And now we're going back under. I think our first stop after we go under is the Pentagon. Can't make out what the PA voice said, but Pentagon.
Airline transit Huntington, next stop, Pentagon City.
Step back towards closing.
Oh.
Doors opening. Step back to allow customers to exit. When boarding, please move to the center of the car.
Never mind, try Huntington. Next stop, Brooklyn City.
Step back. Doors closing.
All right, Muxer.
allow customers to exit. When boarding, please move to the center of the car.
Airline train to Huntington, next stop, Reagan National Airport.
Step back, doors closing.
National Airport. Your adult, that's 5.
Customers to exit. When boarding, please move to the center of the car.
Red road, door open left side. Yellow lights right on. Next stop, King Street Ozone.
Please move to the center of the car. Step back, doors closing.
Will not switch to the blue line. Doors open left side.
Oh, okay, well, let's see. I did it again. I don't remember where I parked. Not down there. Oh, it looks dirty.
This is the station, the last and final stop. Please take the time to pick up your personal belongings. Doors will open on your right side. Have a nice day, and thank you for riding the metro round.
Well, you're welcome.
Doors opening. Step back